Good morning, and thank you so much for joining me for our final day, day 40 of our fasting and feasting devotional. What a journey it has been. And throughout all of the devotional, we've gone back and forth. Each day has been fasting or feasting, and today's devotional is actually titled Fasting and Feasting. I should say it is a fasting and feasting day, and the title of it is Like a Drink Offering. So let's get into our final day of this particular devotional that we are finishing up. For I am already poured out as a drink offering, and the time for my departure is close. 2 Timothy 4, verse 6. As I write this final devotional, we are 2/3 through the Lenten season. Though observing Lent is a church tradition, not a biblical mandate, my faith muscles have been strengthened through the years by the practice of setting aside the 40 days leading up to Resurrection Sunday to fast from food and feast on the Lord. Pay attention to those last 4 words, feast on the Lord. Let them press deep into every crevice of your heart. If we just cut something out of our lives, we miss the point. Deprivation for deprivation's sake is not what Jesus modeled or called us to. The heart of true fasting is to make room for feasting on God's presence, on His Word, on His truth. Why didn't God give us a manual like so many other voices speaking about food are so willing to do? Why didn't He tell us to fast these days and feast those days? Why give us theory and not mandate the practice? Because to embrace the rhythms of fasting and feasting is to commit to walk by the Spirit. Read 2 Timothy 4, verses 1 through 8. I solemnly charge you before God and the Messiah Yeshua, who will judge the living and the dead when He appears and establishes His kingdom. Proclaim the word. Be on hand with it, whether the time seems right or not. Convict, censure, and exhort with unfailing patience and with teaching. For the time is coming when people will not have patience for sound teaching, but will cater to their passions. Hello, life right now, and gather around themselves teachers who say whatever their ears itch to hear. Yes, they will stop listening to the truth, but will turn aside to follow myths. But you, remain steady in every situation, endure suffering, do the work that a proclaimer of the good news should, and do everything your service to God requires. For as for me, I am already being poured out on the altar. Yes, the time for my departure has arrived. I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith. All that awaits me now is the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day, and not only to me, but also to all who have longed for Him to appear. Once again, Paul is using food language to help us understand the way of Jesus. Paul wrote these words from prison during his final days on earth. What word picture did he use to describe his life? What image did he want to leave with those who are watching his faith lived out? The image of a drink being slowly spilled out. For I am already being poured out as a drink offering. Verse 6. Jesus fills us with His love. We pour His love back out into the hearts of others. Jesus fills us with His truth. We drench a deceived world with it. Jesus satisfies us with His word. We tip the cup by living out what He shows us. Paul's words are true of each of us, seeking to showcase God's glory in the way we live our lives. For we are already being poured out as a drink offering. God may want to use His word to defibrillate some things about your relationship with food. Perhaps He's calling you to fast in order to express your commitment to live for Him. He's certainly given us strong reasons to consider fasting in His Word. Maybe He's calling you to feast, to let go of your presumptions that food is bad and to enjoy the good gifts He's placed on your table. Very likely, it's a combination. Fasting and feasting, feasting and fasting, filled up and poured out. These are the food patterns we find in the pages of our Bible. They can spill right over onto our tables and our grocery lists, into the way we live our lives as we seek to follow Jesus. The goal of both rhythms is the same. More of Jesus, less of us. More of the satisfying taste of His presence, less of the things that can never fill us up. Whether fasting or feasting, to walk in the Spirit is to embrace a life that declares, "Who do I have in heaven but you? And I desire nothing on earth but you. My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart, my portion forever." Psalm 73, verses 25 and 26. Let's dig in. Setting the table, inviting the feast. Use the prayer prompts below to ask the Lord to do an abundant work in your life. Setting the table. Jesus, I want more of you, more of your truth, more of your presence in my life. I want to be poured out. And then write down anything else. And then inviting the feast. Lord, are there places in my heart that you want to defibrillate? Are there things about my relationship with food that you need to shock back into rhythm? Show me what they are. Write down anything that comes to mind. And that is the final And close this book. That is the final devotional in our Fasting and Feasting devotional by Aaron Davis. I do hope that you have been blessed on this 40-day journey that we have been on. And if you've kind of been listening but haven't necessarily written down your answers to those prompts that I've been giving every day, I encourage you to go back and you don't necessarily have to like listen to the videos, but go back and find the prompts for each one of those days and do them for the next 40 days. Man, they were very thought-provoking and really, good things for us to think about and pray into and ask the Lord to help us with. It's also really powerful to write down our prayers. In Habakkuk, it talks about writing down the vision and making it plain so that he who sees it may run with it. So writing things down is like really, really important. As we know, like the very thing that we're reading out of is a written down thing. For a long time, scripture was basically oral. And wasn't written down for a long time. And so we are so grateful, I know I am, that we have it written down for us to be able to actually like read. Not that I don't love listening to it, super love listening to it, but there's something very powerful about the written down word. And so your prayers are also powerful when they're written down just as much as they are when they are said. But there's something about writing your prayers down and then almost like reciting them by reading them out again. That's typically what I do, is when I'm writing something out, I go back through and I actually like either read it out loud or I read it in my mind. And there's just something powerful to having it written down and reading your own words back. So I say all that to say, I hope that you were blessed through this devotional. We will be starting a new devotional in a day or two, so be watching for that. I want to make sure that anybody that wants to actually completely read along has the ability to purchase the book to read for themselves. So be watching for that announcement and for that title, and I'll probably be reading the introduction to you ahead of time, or the synopsis, something, so that you know what the devotional itself is about. But I'm really excited to continue going through these devotionals with you guys. God just keeps putting his finger on the next one we're supposed to do. And so I already know what we're going to do, but I'm waiting to share it in a different post. So anyway, I hope that you have a good rest of your day. And I will see you again soon with our new devotional that we'll be going through. And just be blessed and feast from our devotional that we did before. I pray that you take the day today to eat with the King. That was what our first devotional was, but that you also are taking time to fast and feast. Fast, whatever it is that the Lord is bringing to your mind, but then feast on the Lord. Just like what we read, deprivation is not kingdom. God always takes away to replenish in some way, shape, or form. And so, yeah, that's exciting news. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I will see you in a bit. Bye.